Hey guys, I love Billy Knox. The way she tells the story is awesome, but I did find this one, and I guess this is pretty much just for Bree, since she still believes the whole abuse narrative. This young lady dumbed it down for you, Bree. So watch.
Welcome back. This is Billy Knox. I've had a few questions about my last episode, so I'm creating an extra part to my Part 8 series. Because a lot of you wanted to know, how did we actually get from a case that could have been death penalty to a second-degree plea in just 10 years? Originally, Gypsy pled not.
Well, I want to start out by saying if you haven't subscribed, go to Billy Knox on YouTube, and it's Crime with Billy Knox. She does amazing videos, but last night we had a conversation. We didn't. Keish and Audrey tried to have a conversation with Bree, which we see how that went. But I think we could have eliminated the whole conversation first if she would have actually listened. But two, the whole abuse narrative did not take place until she had to be told about it by her lawyer. Okay, so that would have eliminated so much. And then the whole, but her mom put her in the wheelchair crock of shit. No, her mom didn't. At first, I have to, y'all, I'm so sorry. It's like repeat on myself. But you have to dumb it down for some of them because they'll leave that little part out and then come at you in your comments. So I understand at first she needed to be in the wheelchair. After that, by Gypsy, by her own words, says she was too scared to tell her mom she could walk. Now we have evidence of her saying that, but there's no evidence of where Gypsy decided she was done playing fucking disabled kid and getting her ass out. So therefore, being that she remained in the wheelchair for 14 fucking years, that narrative is still in play. Not that her mom put her there and made her stay there, and that was a form of abuse. Now, being that Gypsy Rose was the one that put her ass in that wheelchair, anything that followed after that, after that, was Gypsy's own abuse. Because, like I said, she put her there. She abused herself. I used to make posts all the time about that. But it's kind of hard to be abused when the abuser is the one. You see what I'm saying? I can't remember exactly what the post said, but anyway. Had Gypsy not put herself there, then we would have a whole new. Probably wouldn't even be here because Dee was not the person that everybody makes her out to be. The only reason Dee is made out to be by this young lady is going to tell you why. I have not watched the whole video. I heard her say say part 8 of the one I showed y'all yesterday on the plea deal, and she breaks it down where people like Bree can understand. Because I keep telling y'all, the defense made it up. Gypsy had to be told about the defense of the said abuse. So how can she kill her mama when the abuse narrative was not even there? Gypsy, after she was told about the abuse, and they decided to run with that narrative and keep her ass out of prison for life, Gypsy spent 8.5 years reaching out to any media and anybody that would listen to sell them that narrative. Why? Because they had a reason to know why a convicted mom murderer only got 8.5 years. So they had to find a reason. What is the reason? The fake fucking abuse narrative. They tried this shit with Nick, but that didn't work because the two of them didn't even live together. So how can you use battered spouse syndrome when the two of them didn't even live together? They were trying to say that they were going to blame Nick and say that Nick did it because of the abuse, but he didn't live there. That was fucking stupid. So the next person they used Dee. And then Gypsy had a few medical issues, and it was on in documents. She upscaled every one of them and then made the rest of them. She told Dr. Phil she had 30 unwanted surgeries. Okay. She had only 4. There's 4 documented surgeries. So how in the hell Dr. Phil that's what I'm saying. Y'all, the media, nobody done their fucking homework. I mean, this shit the reason she's out is just stupid. Nobody looked into this case. Nobody gave a fuck. A woman lost her life and y'all just give up? Dr. Phil, fuck. You know, a lot of people looked up to Dr. Phil a long time. I did too, but I had no idea the stories behind his bullshit episodes. He was literally egging it on, let me say, causing the drama for him to use the drama on his show. I seen his podcast, and that was the most revolting thing I've ever seen in my life. Talking about the act, got it wrong. Dr. Phil, oh my God, I'm surprised he even spelt her name right. That's how fucked up his podcast was. I think that was like my second or third post on TikTok. Was letting people know, look, I just listen to shit and this is just, oh my God. You gotta go listen to it. It's outrageous. Outrageous on how bad somebody got something so wrong. But Gypsy spent 8.5 years spreading that rumor. That's why she reached out to all these media, because they had to have a reason on why a convicted murderer was able to kill her mom and walk out of prison. Most murderers don't even walk out of prison, much less with an 8.5 year sentence and got out for early release. When anybody knows that if you are in prison, especially for a heinous crime, anything you do in that length of time, any violations, any disciplinary note, it's going to kill you on review day of the parole. Gypsy not only claimed rape and had to go and retract that, the bitch repeatedly got fucking offense after offense after offense. Bringing in pornography, getting a tattoo. I could have this conversation all day long, but repeatedly. But those was not thrown up at the review hearing, and she was just allowed to. Really? If anything, one disciplinary note should have made her serve her entire 10 years. Not fucking lessen the sentence. Missouri's rules are fucked up. It ain't just Missouri, it's the entire case. But this young lady is going to dumb it down for Bree and her little shit show over there. Okay, so then we don't have to hear anything else about said abuse that did not happen.
Realize just how much evidence prosecutors had. In my opinion, they knew they had to start discussing alternative options. And here's what I find really interesting.
Let me turn it up, guys.
After Gypsy sat down and had those early conversations with her lawyers, they weren't immediately talking about some sweeping media narrative of a mother who fabricated illnesses. No. What came up first was the possibility of battered spouse syndrome.
Y'all have to turn it down on y'all.
Or more accurately in her situation, battered child syndrome. When you first hear this, you'd think of Nicholas and his relationship with Gypsy, but we don't believe that had anything to do with this defense strategy. Now, in Missouri, battered spouse syndrome isn't a separate defense, but it can be used to support a claim of self-defense. The idea being that years of abuse can make someone believe violence is always imminent, and that the only way out is to act. So Gypsy's team explored this angle. Not that she was masterminding a murder for a boyfriend, but that she was trapped in what they wanted the court to see as a cycle of abuse. And that killing Dee Dee was her only perceived way to survive it. And that tells me something important. When the defense realized the death penalty was on the table, they had to explore every single avenue that might get her off it. They weren't treating this like a straightforward, premeditated homicide case. They were looking for anything that could shift the narrative. And in those early stages, that meant positioning it as a battered child case. Think about that. And it's from that position that Gypsy started talking, even in early prison phone calls, about defenses like battered spouse syndrome, reframed for her as battered child syndrome, and possibly pushing for manslaughter. She said she had sat...
Okay, I just want to say, for somebody that endured such abuse that Gypsy tries to push off onto, the bitch couldn't even remember it from interview to interview. The biggest one is she fucked up the reason she killed her mom so bad. In one in email, she claims it was a control issue. Okay, but in the Dr. Phil show, she told him that her mom was about to have another unwanted surgery, a surgery she's had a million times, and it was on her throat, and she was scared to death that the doctors were going to miss, and it was going to take out her voice forever, and Gypsy was not going to allow that to happen. So she took out her mom's life before that unwanted surgery that didn't fucking even existed took her mama's life. She can't even keep the shit that the whole purpose of her mom dying. She can't even get it right. And Bree and people like Pro Gypsy, they don't care. They don't want to see that part. They don't want to see the big details. They want to find the littlest thing that was right and turn it into a big, you know what I'm saying? They want to take one little ounce of evidence that was right and justify every fucking bit, everything else. When this case is nothing what it seems and everything is ass backwards. If Gypsy said she did it, somebody else did it, just know that Gypsy did it. If she tells you the sky is blue, I guarantee you it is fucking changing colors. Because she cannot tell the truth if it fell out of her mouth. If it literally fell out. Like she just opened her mouth and the word truth come out. She might open her mouth, but the word lie is just going to fall the fuck out. That's how stupid this shit is. And all she does is dig a bigger hole and a bigger hole and a bigger hole. What was that analogy that the detective said? Gypsy, don't make your snowball bigger, baby. Don't make it so big that when it smacks the shit out of you, it just rolls you over. Let's keep it little. So when somebody does throw it, you just get hit with a little bitty ball. And it might hurt a little bit, but it's the truth. That's all that matters, is that it will be the truth. Gypsy's ball is so big now, it could probably run 10 people over. Or, you know the ball at Walt Disneyland or World? That big ass spear? That's Gypsy's snowball right there. That was a good analogy. I loved his analogy. But anyway, yeah. And I'll shut up and let y'all watch this. Promise.
Down with her lawyer, discussed everything, and this was the direction they were looking at. She says a lot in these calls, and we might pull out her contradictions and show how easily she lied to those around her. So let's listen to the call she made to her father, where she explains exactly what her defense team had told her. And remember this, she wasn't desperate enough to kill her mother with her own hands, but she was desperate enough to hand the knife to a man with significant disabilities, who she drew into her plan, knowing he would use it.
Gypsy?
Oh, Celeste. Unfortunately, I can't say much right now on the phone because the attorney said that I have to wait till I get.
Hold up. I keep forgetting this detail, but it is actually a big detail. All right. Gypsy makes a statement that in the interrogation room and well after statements after this, that she was estranged from the Petrie family, right? That she had nothing to do with it. If you go back and listen to the interrogation room, the minute that child gets caught, she goes, "Can I call my aunt?" Her aunt. Dee Dee's sister. But you've been estranged with them for so many years. Why would that be your first phone call?
To Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, to be able to talk a whole lot and give you all the details and everything that has happened. But
Yeah.
I need to know my dad's number. Thank you so much, Aunt Celeste. And I don't know how you found out that I was in jail, but believe me when I say I'm innocent.
Are you gonna clean up
I
there or not?
had a bad situation with someone. I'm basically hanging on by my fingertips, and my dad is the only one that I have left, really. And it seems like all my friends that I had in Missouri have abandoned me, and I'm really lost without my mom. All I know is that I'm innocent, and I know that on the news they're painting me up to be this horrible person that plotted to kill my mom, but it's not like that, and I'll explain everything whenever I get to Missouri. And just please tell Daddy that I'm innocent. I'm so happy that somebody cares. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Please tell Daddy that I love him too, and give my love to all the family. And we'll talk more whenever we get to Missouri.
Hey, my sweetie.
Hi, it's Chrissy.
Yes, baby.
Hi. Oh my God, it's so good to hear your voice.
Oh, it's so good to hear yours, my love.
Oh,
So good.
I can't really talk much about what happened because my lawyer said not to, but I just want to let you know that Aunt Celeste had put some money on my account so I can call you, Daddy, or her, and I just want you to know, and please let Daddy know that I'm innocent.
I will, baby. And look, Daddy and I will be there when you get to Missouri, and we will help you any way we can.
Thank you
And
so
your brother and your sister, we love you so much. And I love you so much, Chip.
I love you all so much too. Does Daddy still love me?
Daddy still loves you. In fact, he's coming home tonight.
Okay, good. I think I have like 15 minutes to talk on this call, but I'm happy that somebody tried to get in touch with me because nobody else got through. And whenever I got arrested, I'm like, why is anybody calling me or trying to contact me? And then the stuff they say in the news is horrible and not true.
Oh, no, sweetie. You have family. You have family that love you. You are not alone in this.
Thank you so much because honestly, I thought it's a complicated situation, but what they say on the news is not true. You know that I love my mama, and you know that I would never let her hurt or to be killed or any of that.
I know, honey. I know, sweetie.
And they have arrested the man that did it.
Yeah.
And he was my boyfriend, and unfortunately, he did what he did because he wanted me to come live with him. I'm going to tell y'all the truth of what happened, and it's really hard to hear because it's like I've never been in trouble with the law ever. I've never been in jail, and over here, it's like everybody is so cold, and then they showed what the case was on the news, and they're like, Gypsy accused of killing her mother with her boyfriend, and I'm like, that's not true. And then they had some inmates in here that's like, you're a mommy killer, and they're all part of me, and it's just horrible.
Now, listen carefully to how Gypsy opens both of these conversations with her family. She says she can't talk about the case, but then immediately insists that she's innocent. She claims she just got mixed up in a bad situation. But mixed up how? Because in Missouri, it wasn't just a bad situation. It was a brutal homicide. She also says, all my friends in Missouri have abandoned me. But wait a minute. I thought she always said she never had any friends at all. That's another piece that doesn't add up. And here's another striking line. She tells Christy, you know I loved my mama, and you know that I would never hurt her. Yet in the very next breath she says, they've arrested the man that did this. And her explanation, he was my boyfriend, and unfortunately he did what he did because he wanted me to come live with him. Look how easily she's shifting blame. Look how easily she lies to everyone around her.
But you're the closest thing I have. You're the closest thing I have to my mama.
Yeah, and I'll be your mommy, baby.
Thank you so much. And I was wondering if I get through all of this and I'm able to get out somehow. I don't know if it's by trial or what because I've never had to go through this before. Is it okay if I come and live with y'all because I have no one else to go?
Baby. Baby, you are welcome here.
Thank you so much. And I would not be a burden at all.
Y'all notice that she don't say shit about her mama. Now, if her mom abused her and all that, or it was Nick's fault, she says nothing. She's just worried about where the fuck she's gonna go if she gets out.
I'm a good girl.
Excuse me.
Oh, baby, I know you are. Trust me, I know you are. I know your heart, please.
Exactly, and I was thinking about if Aunt Celeste knows, then Daddy must know. Oh God, Daddy must think the worst of me.
Now note, at this time, her defense has already called the two of them and told them that we're running with the abuse narrative. That's why she is so willing to accept and believe the shit that's coming out of her mouth. Because they know that if they don't run with this shit, this fake narrative, that Gypsy's going to do life. So that's what you're seeing here. You're not seeing a caring fucking stepmother. You're hearing somebody that was coerced into the abuse narrative just so Gypsy didn't spend life in prison. I mean, you got Chris Watts and his family defending her to a fucking T. Still stand. Shirley McKenzie, her mama, is doing the same thing because that's their kid. Well, you know what was the name of her kid, but it's her daddy. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna lie for her. They're gonna take her side so she don't spend life in prison. The two of them know the truth. The fucking both of them know the truth. And like I tell y'all all the time, she don't have to answer to us. Ain't that what she says? But she will answer to God. Because one day He's gonna call you home. And He's not gonna bring you home. He's gonna bring you where murderers and bad people go.
Please tell Daddy that I love him too, and that
Oh boy, we know you love him, you sick motherfucker.
And Dylan, I love them too.
So what's really happening here? On the surface, it looks like role replacement. Gypsy losing one mom and immediately sliding Christy into that space. But dig a little deeper, and it feels less like desperation and more like strategy. By calling Christy the closest thing I have to a mom, she was securing something. Sympathy, loyalty, protection. And Christy, who hadn't had real contact with Gypsy in over a decade, walked straight into it. Her response, "I'll be your mommy."
That's what I don't understand. Why do people continue to not tell the whole story? Gypsy talked to her daddy on her 18th birthday. Remember? Because that whole don't tell Gypsy she's 18. It ain't been a fucking decade. It's been 4 years. And she still was the one that was pretending to be Dee, communicating with her through the text messages.
Says more about her own emotions than about any actual bond between them. Put those two together, and what you see isn't just grief. It's a calculated moment. Gypsy reshaping the narrative, and Christy stepping into a role she was never really in before.
Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from
Gypsy Rose.
Hey, sweetie. How you doing today, baby?
Had a rough morning, but it got.
Now, if that don't make you sick, Bree, do you not see how she dumbed herself down to be a kid again? Where's her mom? Where's her mom making her be this person right here, Bree? She's not here. So why is Gypsy Rose pretending to be a 15-year-old little girl again, huh? She's a 23-year-old woman sitting in a fucking woman's prison. But yet she's willing to take an ass whooping for playing these little 15-year-old roles, which I guarantee you she did. If not, she was the most vulnerable person in prison. But I ask you again, Bree, where was Dee when she was making Gypsy be this type of person right here? That's what I thought.
Better after I got to take a shower. Daddy?
Your daddy. Here he is.
Thank you.
And she sounds just as fucking stupid as talking about your daddy.
Are you hanging in there?
I'm trying. I'm really
He don't buy it.
Yeah, I bet.
It's
He said, I bet.
You feel tired?
Oh yeah, and it's like being here. I've never, ever been in a place like this before, and being in jail is not.
Wait a minute. She's never been in a place like that before, but yet she endured so much abuse with her mom. Force feeding her, making her live in a wheelchair, chaining her outside for 2 weeks with no food, Hell, prison's fucking feeding you, but you've never endured such a place so horrendous. Stop it.
I said, if there's a heck, I'm in it because heck is jail.
Yeah, so it's
Oh.
the hardest thing.
But heck wasn't living with your mama, was it? Ain't that the whole reason you're in prison right now? Because your hell used to be your mom's house. Right? Right?
That's what that'll be, baby. The hardest thing.
And I'm like, if you wake up and they give you dry cereal, like a small cup of dry cereal, and they give me at least my seizure medication.
That should be heaven, since your mama didn't feed you.
And but I have to pay like $20 for it, and but I think it's $20 only once, and I take it 2 times a day, and then after that they give you another tray of food that is basically bread and food that I don't eat, and for dinner it's the same thing, food that I don't eat. So I'm basically living off of bread and cookies and water from a faucet that's connected to a toilet.
She's just trying to manipulate her daddy like she does every other situation, so he feels sorry for her. So he sends her more money to fuck up on canteen and shit. This is just stupid.
Here's where the story cracks again. In her book, Gypsy insists she lived on nothing but Pediasure through her feeding tube. No blended food, no real meals. But then in prison, she complains about the food being bad, food she supposedly never ate in the first place. How do you develop taste preferences for meals you claim you were never allowed to eat? It doesn't add up. And it's one more sign that Gypsy's public story was carefully shaped, not consistently told. And after skimming through her book, I'll be honest, it's hard to read. Not just because of the subject matter, but because it's full of contradictory statements, even within the same pages. She says at one point her feeding tube was placed around age 9. But later in the same book she asks, who puts a tube in a 5-year-old? That's a 4-year gap, and both claims come straight from her. So personally, I don't put too much weight on what's written there. Because if her own story can't stay consistent in one book, how are we supposed to take it at face value everywhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
How often is somebody medically, professionally examining the baby?
they have a nurse here, but that's it.
Yeah.
And, they have a psychiatrist that, I can't really tell her much because if I tell her I'm sad or depressed or anything like that, they'll...
If she tells that bitch the truth, they're gonna take her and put her in a padded fucking room. That's why. And she's scared to talk to that psychiatrist because she knows the truth's gonna fucking fall out because she cannot keep up with her stories. And the psychiatrist will call her out. That's why Gypsy don't want to talk.
In it, and the last thing I need right now is to be locked up in a mental institution. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
And,
Have you heard anything about when they're going to bring you back to Missouri?
not really. I had a video call from one of my lawyers, one that's filling in for Mr. Sam, and he said just basically don't talk to anybody about the case, that anything could be used against me, so even if it seems innocent. And as far as going back to Missouri, just hang in there. It'll hopefully be within the next 2 weeks. And it seems like every day seems to be getting longer and longer.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be easy, baby. But you have to hang in there.
I'm trying.
Know that you have a lot of people that love you, care for you, always have, and always will, no matter what.
Thank you. And I'm just so thankful that Celeste got in touch with me and I was able to get her number from my lawyer because I didn't know your number. I didn't know anybody's number. And so whenever she had called my lawyer, I'm like, thankfully I can get in touch with my dad and be able to, you know, try and explain things to him. And unfortunately, I still can't explain things to you on the phone here while I'm in
Yeah, but
Wisconsin.
I don't want you to explain anything. Not right now. I have a lot of questions, obviously. I'm confused.
I bet. I know what those questions are.
That's the reason I didn't get off the boat because, I really wasn't sure on what kind of relationship you and I really had. I mean, I don't know if I've ever spoken to you without your mama being right on the side of you.
Well, to be honest, Daddy, I understand that we haven't had a chance to get close in a long time, probably my whole life, but truth is I've always wanted to get close to you. Our part we lived, and of course you having a job, you know, we never got a chance to have a real close relationship, and I want that. I really want to build a good, close relationship with you. And it's like, I don't want you to ever think that I'm mad at you or that I don't love you. I do love you, and I love you in a way that I know that we're blood, but I honestly want more than that. I want to build a relationship with you, and I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know me. You know, I know that on the news, they're painting me out to be this horrible person, but you know my heart, Daddy. You know that, you know, everything Mama told you is true. I am truly a good girl, and, you know, I've always loved you, and I would never hurt Mama, and I know that you probably have some questions about, you know, probably my health, and what happened to Mama and stuff like this, and I'll be able to explain that whenever I'm in Missouri. Just know that I'm innocent and know that I'm still your little girl.
Yeah, that's you, baby. It's good.
And I just know as soon as I just wanted to get in touch, as soon as I get to Missouri, I'm going to want to see y'all.
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, about that. We'll be there.
Okay. I'm going to hang up now, but I just wanted to get in touch with you so I could at least have some comfort for tonight.
Yeah, well, hang in there, Golden. We're going to be there. We'll always be there for you, okay?
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
And I'm not mad at you at all.
Good.
Okay? So don't worry about that. Be good, okay?
Okay.
Call back tomorrow if you can.
I will try.
Listen carefully to this interaction between Gypsy and her dad, Rod. She hasn't seen him in more than a decade. She's 23 years old. I think people tend to forget this. And yet, on one of their first jail calls, she says, "I've always wanted to get close to you. I want more than blood. I'm still your little girl." Now, who says that at 23? To a dad they barely know? It doesn't sound like reconnection. It sounds like regression, slipping into the child role, framing herself as daddy's little girl, even though she's a grown woman. And look at when she does it. Right after her arrest. Right after headlines are calling her a mommy killer. She doesn't lead with remorse. She doesn't lead with grief. She leads with performance, pouring on intimacy that doesn't match the history. And then notice what she ties it to. "Please tell Daddy that I'm innocent. I'd never hurt Mama." The love and the innocence are woven together, because in Gypsy's mind, if she secures belief, she secures protection. Now listen to Rod. He doesn't mirror her intensity. He keeps it steady, even distant. "I wasn't sure what kind of relationship you and I really had. I don't want you to explain anything. Not right now. That's a boundary. That's a father who's cautious, confused, not ready to swallow the script she's feeding him. So what do we make of this? Is it grief? A daughter reaching for a family bond she never had? Or is it strategy, securing loyalty, offloading blame, and fast-tracking intimacy after 10 years apart? Because when a 23-year-old woman, who hasn't seen her father in over a decade, suddenly calls herself his little girl while insisting on her innocence. That doesn't sound like reconnection. That sounds like survival. That sounds like a narrative being built in real time, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was to let you know that I'm not pregnant. Right. I didn't want it to happen that way.
It's not the end of the world.
Right.
It's not the end of the world.
Very true. I went to court yesterday. I don't enjoy the media attention. That's one thing I don't enjoy. It takes a while because after this I go to court again on the 31st of this month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an arraignment to plead not guilty. And then after that, it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a bunch of little conferences. That's where the real work begins of just figuring out what our defense is, what our plan is, and now that things are more defined, my lawyer said that we know what defense we're going to go with. We know we have a plan.
Why the fuck would it be a plan? Why can't it be the truth? If Gypsy truly killed her mom because of the abuse narrative, why can't it just be the truth? Why does it have to be a fucking plan? Because it's a fucking lie.
Like I was telling you before, I have a lot of memory loss because of the medications. And so I don't remember everything that happened. And they had showed the evidence, and the evidence was bad. It was in the form of...
She don't remember everything that happens, but she remembers the rape, exactly shit that her mom told her, shit that her mom said the night before. She remembers getting thrown out on the porch. She remembers a set of numbers to recite to Nick. She remembered the plan that they were going to tell whenever and if they got caught. Really?
Right.
And so, anyway, now it's bound over for trial, so after you go to trial, and basically what my lawyer is looking at is the charge of manslaughter, which carries a penalty of 15 years maximum. But most likely I wouldn't get that much time because I didn't do the actual kill or anything. That I was just kind of aiding rather than being the one that hit.
Exactly.
Because I know that he was cheating on me, and that he was talking to his best friend about it, and then for me I had taken like 2 Ambiens that his mom was giving me her medicine too, and I have a bad reaction to Ambien. For me, yes, I did love my mom, and yes, I know that y'all weren't.
That's the first I've heard of that. That child has not ever said anything about no motherfucking Ambien. And how? That's what I'm saying. The defense, the fucking prosecution, he needs to be slapped. How in the world could Gypsy had took 2 Ambien, okay, which knocked her out by her own words right there, but yet gave Nick the weapon, escorted him in the home. That's what I'm saying, y'all. This is just fucking unreal. Went in the bathroom, closed your eyes, cleaned the mess up, butt naked. How could she have done that if she had just took 2 Ambien? Everything that child just said, was a fucking lie. Really? Alright, I love you.
And his daughter were more closer together, and she was kind of the one that felt like a third wheel. And, I know that she was different and didn't quite.
She even said that Nick was cheating on her and talking to his best friend. No, it was Gypsy that was cheating on him and talking to her guy friend.
But it's like, she's still y'all's sister, and she stole my mom, and
Right.
just honestly know that I was desperate. I was desperate to get away.
I believe you. I
And
do believe you.
it's like, I'm not a killer. I have never been a killer. I don't even hunt. So I don't kill. I don't kill animals. I
Fucking
don't kill
idiot.
humans.
I don't even
Oh yeah, they got those pictures. He was posing with some knives and all. Like,
In my opinion, this next call is where we see a narrative being built. Also, how easily Gypsy can tell a story. She tells her aunt, "Good news, I'm not pregnant. I didn't want it to happen like that." But to me, that doesn't ring true. Because in the weeks leading up to the murder, Gypsy and Nick were openly talking about pregnancy as part of their plan. So when I hear her suddenly call it good news, in my opinion, that feels like rewriting the story for sympathy. Then she shifts to the drug defense. I was on Ambien. I can't remember anything. Handing him the knife, the texts. I wouldn't act like this without those drugs. It's not me. Now, I can only give you my view here, but to me, that sounds less like an explanation and more like preemptive mitigation. A way of saying, don't hold me accountable. It was the medication. And finally, she tells her aunt, "We're trying for manslaughter because I didn't do the actual kill." To me, that's not the voice of someone confessing or grieving. That's the voice of someone already rehearsing their defense. So, in my opinion, when you line it all up, the pregnancy contradiction, the Ambien excuse, and the manslaughter pitch, it doesn't read like honesty. In my opinion, it reads like someone who thinks they're going to get away with it.
Halloween costume.
they have that all over the internet.
No, it was a Halloween costume. I took the picture and it was last October that I took them pictures, but posted it like more in towards May.
If these people over there knew you can walk, why are they making it sound so bad to us? Like, like, wow, y'all knew she could walk and y'all didn't let nobody go by. Y'all didn't try to do anything about it. It's like, y'all don't understand. Every time we try to call, because we were planning on coming to Christmas, every time we were planning on coming, she said, well, call first. The people making such a big thing about it. I mean, wow.
I didn't even know anyone knew. That's the thing. My lawyer said that one of the neighbors knew, and I'm like, what? Yeah. Well, you know that my mom wasn't only lying about my age. She was lying about hers too. She was saying that she was born in 1975.
Well, I guess not.
And like y'all her sister, so of course y'all would know.
No, yeah. She was born the same year as my husband.
Did you see the news coverage on it's a TV station here, but it's called KY3. That's how we were whenever they were showing pictures.
So I mean, and it's like and it's like, oh, I just keep thinking about how that must have felt. That must have been horrible. Oh.
I wasn't even in the room. I was in the bathroom, and
they said that you gave him the gloves and you gave him the ice. And you told
I don't even remember that part.
Yeah.
And it's like, I do remember some of it, but it was a big blur. And that's the hardest part, is trying to tell the truth and having a nightmare after that kind of makes what the real truth is.
Stayed in the house. It says it's trying to paint a really ugly picture because it says you stayed in the house till the next morning. So
No.
you stayed in the house with the body.
That's not
true.
true.
The next morning, y'all went to a motel, far from the house, then y'all went to Walmart. So after y'all went to Walmart, then y'all caught a bus.
Some of it's true, some of it's not. It's like crazy. And the things that people are trying to make up, they're like, I met Nick on a Christian dating website. And my mom didn't know I was on the website because, she would never let me date. So anyway, I just...
She would have let you some news tickets.
And anyway, so I went off to try to find a boyfriend on my own on the internet. And I thought a Christian site would be the best, Come on.
No.
I'm catching heat, but my lawyer says that there are supporters out there too.
Then comes another pivot. Gypsy tells her family, "I met Nick on a Christian dating site. I thought I'd find a nice boyfriend." To me, that sounds like image polishing. because we know her online life was far from wholesome. She waves away the knife photos, too. They were just Halloween costumes. But here's the thing. She didn't just pose as a princess. She posed with knives, by her mouth, by her chest. And when those images surface after a homicide, my opinion is, they don't look like harmless cosplay. They look like evidence she's now trying to reframe. And then she adds, "My lawyer told me a neighbor knew I could walk." Think about that. Even if it's true, it doesn't erase her involvement in the deception. But in my opinion, this is another move to spread the responsibility, to plant the idea that others knew and stayed silent. It's the same pattern, again and again. Polish the image, minimize the evidence, deflect the blame, and every time it reads less like confession and more like strategy.
You eat meat?
Huh?
Do you eat meat?
I do. Yay! I like cheeseburgers.
Awesome! And she was a vegetarian, her, so say, but,
Yeah, no, I
God.
I like cheeseburgers. I'm drinking a lot of coffee. That's the one thing. You can order commissary over here, and
Yeah.
what that is you can order coffee, cookies, candy,
Right.
things like that. And over here, coffee is the big thing because it keeps you up all night so you can sleep all day, so it makes the time go faster.
Nobody's picking on you.
There were two women that was, but I told the pot officer and they made it stop. So the funniest thing is the one good thing out of all of this is I realize that I'm legal drinking age. So I'll be able to have a drink. Well, I don't want to get completely to become an alcoholic. I just one fruity cocktail beverage. I've tried it. I think I'm gonna get better in time.
Hey, sweetie.
Here's another contradiction worth looking at. In these jail calls, Gypsy says she eats meat, she loves cheeseburgers, and she can even order cookies and candy from commissary. But this isn't new. Remember, back when she was being questioned after her arrest, she told the officer she ate so much candy during their Disney trip that she got a sugar high. So, in my opinion, it doesn't add up with the later claim that she was always limited to feeding tubes and liquid supplements. Then she makes another comment that jumps out. She says she realizes she's legal drinking age now. That's interesting, because age was one of the most confusing parts of this whole case. She was officially listed as younger than she really was, and in my opinion, her sudden focus on drinking age could connect to why that lie mattered. Think about it. If she admitted her real age in that interrogation, it would expose the fact that she'd been presenting herself as younger for years. Then she gives the detective a whole story as to why her age was listed incorrectly. So in my opinion, the age lie may have served two purposes: making her look more vulnerable publicly, and covering her tracks legally when the detective started asking hard questions. It's details like this that tell me her story isn't consistent. One minute she's tube-fed and childlike. The next, she's a 23-year-old cheeseburger-eating adult, talking about candy and alcohol. Does this sound like confusion or controlling of the narrative?
How you doing, Boo?
Still very shaken up.
This could be okay, sweetie.
Hopeful earlier and then just stuff that I didn't even remember. What was I thinking, I'm shaken up and it's like, I didn't even know the details of what he had done. And then to hear it, it's traumatizing on me. And it's like I never asked him to be that person. How can y'all possibly still be so supportive after knowing what y'all found out today?
Cindy, because we love you.
That's good. I want to be stuck.
Yeah. What no get through it?
Yeah. And I kind of took a moment to understand that I am a part of it. And even though I didn't mean to be, I know that I had taken a lot of medication, so I can't remember that clearly how things happened. And
Right, I understand that.
all the things I said under that medication normally say or do situation. And Mike came into the booth after y'all left, and he's like, it's okay, we have a plan no matter. We had 2 plans for if you are involved and if you're not involved, and, you know, it just happens to be the one where you're involved, and we have a defense for that. You know, they're prepared for that.
Yeah.
And
We went there after and talked to him, and there is a plan in motion. But
and I put my trust in him. I really, I had to kind of laugh when he's like, do you work for Facebook? Do you know how it works? At this point, I honestly think that the worst of it has come out.
yeah,
If
right.
there's stuff on Facebook, it wouldn't be any worse than what has already been said in those texts. You know, I think I was on Facebook while texting them that night, so it might, you know, some things might be on Facebook, but it'll come out, and I'm like, and it can't be any worse than what was in those texts.
After the preliminary hearing, everything shifts. That's the first time Gypsy really hears the evidence stacked against her. The texts, the Facebook posts, the planning. And listen to what she tells her family. My lawyer said we have 2 plans. One if I was involved, one if I wasn't. Now think about that. Why would a defense attorney need 2 separate strategies unless their client hadn't been completely honest? And that's not just my theory. Gypsy herself later admitted in interviews that she wasn't completely honest with her attorneys at first. Then there's the Facebook angle. She says she was talking to Nick online the night of the murder. Those messages have never been released. And her comment? They can't be any worse than those texts. To me, that line is revealing. Because why even say that, unless you already know they're bad too? Bad enough that you're trying to downplay them before anyone else sees them. So in my opinion, what we're watching here is Gypsy confronting the weight of the evidence, realizing her stories don't line up, and already starting to pivot. Not full confession, not full denial, but strategy. Again.
That picture was taken in October. So one of these dressed up like a comic book character. I'm like,
Right.
this is so taken out of context
Yeah.
because I had pictures of me as a princess too on that website.
Exactly.
I did like a video of me in that costume, and I was practicing for the sci-fi convention that was going to be coming up. So a lot of what they had showed, so it was like I told my lawyer, like, I don't remember a lot of it.
Right.
To be honest, I don't want to remember, and it's like, it feels like I'm a victim, but it's like I'm a part of it, but I feel like a victim, and I don't know if that
You are.
makes sense. But at least he kind of told me, that what we're dealing with and how we're going to handle it, and that to just stay positive. And he's like, don't worry. And I'm thinking in my head, how can I not worry? This is my life. Yeah, whenever I prayed a lot. And just to help me find peace, to help cope with all of this. And I know that's going to take a long time for all of this to be over. But I can't thank you enough for coming all that way just to see me and be a support system for me. Absolutely. And I got the pictures that y'all had sent.
You want to talk to Dad?
Yes, please.
Okay, I love you, sweetie.
I love you too.
You stay strong.
I will.
Okay?
I'm still shaking up, but I'm a little better. At least I'm not on the floor sobbing right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And,
Yeah, some days are going to be good, some days are going to be bad. Today was bad, I guess you could say, you know.
right. Some days are better than others. Today was a pretty bad day, which I hadn't had this bad of a day, so it shook me up a lot. And I'm like thinking, if this is just a preliminary hearing, I can't imagine how trial is going to be. I wish you would have like constant Xanax during the day or something.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more than that. It'll be weeks probably, you know. But just, the best thing to do is just be honest with Mike, you know.
Right.
That's the only way he can defend you the best he can is if he knows the truth, and
Exactly.
and then, you know, we can work with that.
Right.
That way you know what to expect, you know. I mean, today kind of blindsided everybody, and
Yeah.
it's
And even
partly
kind of
because you wasn't
blindsided me.
honest with them.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was completely honest with him, and I'm like, I was on a lot of medication, some that weren't even mine. And so I know this sounds crazy, but I don't remember making those texts, listening to those texts, or having any of these conversations. I wouldn't do
Yeah.
that normally. And
Yeah, I know. So, well, let him know all of that. I mean, he's going to do the best he can, and that's all we can hope for, you know. So,
he knows that, because I told
just
him
be positive about it.
It was bad today. I'm still shaking. It's like, I told my husband and I told Mom that I'm just like, those were pictures that are taken out of context. I was in a costume from October that I had posted in May. You know, how is that relevant to anything? I have pictures of me as a princess too on there, but I don't know.
Well, that'll come out. You'll be able to argue that.
Right.
You know, you'll be able to explain all of that if need be.
And like, if he had told me, he's like, well, we have a plan, and we have talked about it, and our defense is going to be the battered spouse syndrome, and he knows what he's doing, and I put all my trust in him, and I know that he'll get me the least amount of time possible. And I've been looking up about a roundabout figure of how long prison time does manslaughter charge, because that's what he's kind of going for, because the prosecutor came up to him and was talking about charging you with manslaughter at the end of all this.
15 years for manslaughter is the maximum.
Yeah. And so it's like, it can either be from 5 to 15 years, and I'm like, I could do that, at least it won't be 25 to life or something like that. But there's a lot of factors that need to be taken into account with that as well. So it could be even less than 15.
Yeah, that's right. So just hope for the best, baby.
Yeah, hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
But the good thing is it's not going to get, like, the conversations, I don't think it's going to get any worse than what was in those texts.
Yeah, that was like some big doings they had there, so, so yeah, if you know what that big guns are, you know your enemy.
Right.
You can be a good offense. So.
Right.
Did you hear anything on your blood test?
What's that?
Did you hear anything on your blood test?
Not yet. They still haven't called me to medical yet. I think they're probably going to give me the results tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. They said anywhere from like a day to 2 days. So.
Yeah.
I think you're probably pretty busy, and I was busy all day too. So.
Yeah.
But as soon as I hear, I'll let y'all know.
Okay. Well, David?
Okay, I love you, Daddy.
I love you too. Look, I'm going to come back and see you in September.
Okay.
Next time I get off the boat. So I'm not sure what day yet, but we'll keep in touch. I'll let you know, okay?
That sounds good.
So let's pull these prison calls together. We've heard Gypsy on the phone to her aunt, her stepmom, and her dad. And across those conversations, the pattern repeats. She tells one person she's innocent. She tells another she was drugged on Ambien and can't remember handing over the knife. She downplays pregnancy when we know that was part of her and Nick's plan. She says she eats cheeseburgers and candy in commissary, when publicly she'd claim she was tube-fed. And she pivots into childlike language. I'm still your little girl, despite being 23 and not having seen her father in over a decade. Then comes the key moment. She tells her family her lawyer has 2 defense plans. One if she was involved, one if she wasn't. And in my opinion, that tells us something very clear. Gypsy wasn't being honest with her own attorneys. She later admitted exactly that in interviews. She wasn't completely truthful at the start. So even her defense team had to prepare for multiple versions of the story. And that's why battered spouse syndrome was floated, not because of Nick. Under Missouri law, that defense falls under battered person syndrome. It can cover intimate partners, caretakers, even parent-child relationships. So when her team talked about battered spouse, they were really trying to position Gypsy as a battered child. Here's our timeline. June 29, 2015. Gypsy arraigned in Greene County. She pleads not guilty to first-degree murder. July 24, 2015. Preliminary hearing. Prosecutors present evidence including texts, Facebook activity, and planning details. Judge binds the case over for trial. November 2015. Prosecutor Dan Patterson announces he will not seek the death penalty, saying the case does not meet Missouri's aggravating factors. July 5, 2016. Gypsy accepts a plea deal. She pleads guilty to second-degree murder. Sentenced to 10 years, eligible for parole after 85%. July 6, 2016. The very next day, the Springfield News Leader publishes an interview with Dr. Mark Feldman, introduced as a Munchausen by proxy expert. Feldman was never part of the legal team. He never examined DD or Gypsy, never testified, and never reviewed sealed records. His comments came through HBO, who had already interviewed him for their documentary. In that article, Feldman confidently calls Gypsy a victim of Munchausen by proxy, and labels the case unprecedented. Patterson is quoted alongside him, saying he could have secured a first-degree conviction, but chose not to because of the abuse. So look at the sequence. July 5th, plea deal announced. July 6th, media narrative cemented. Before the public ever saw a single medical record, the story of Munchausen by proxy was already in headlines, pushed by an outside expert via HBO, and reinforced by a prosecutor reframing his decision around systematic abuse. So there you have it. The defense team found their opening when they uncovered the financial fraud scheme. With Gypsy's long medical history, they had the perfect ingredients to craft a narrative, one that was already circulating as early as July 2015. It spread through forums, it slipped into headlines, and by the time HBO came calling, the storyline was locked in. But one thing was clear. This case was never going to play out in a vacuum. Public perception had shifted. And yes, there are theories out there. Theories that say that shift in perception is exactly what helps secure the deal. At the end of the day, though, there was still a murder. Someone had to be held accountable. Someone had to be made out as the monster. And who better than Nicholas Godejohn? And that's where we'll pick up next time, stepping into Nicholas Godejohn's trial. We'll hear the interviews he...
Well, Bree, I hope that helps you out. See, her defense, it was made up. It didn't happen. And it wasn't until YouTube got a hold of all those documents that she was talking about where we realized that it was Gypsy reaching out to the organizations, pretending to be sick, not her mom. And Gypsy alone, kept her ass in that wheelchair. I said kept. Okay? I know Dee put her there for the moment, but Gypsy kept herself there for 14 years. Now, how does she go talking like a little 15-year-old to having a full-blown fucking conversation with you like a 23-year-old? Huh? See what I'm saying? She's feeding you a line of shit, Bree. She's manipulating you, just like those those phone calls to her loved ones, like she did Nick to coerce him to take out her mom, just like she did fucking Ryan to establish a place to go when she got out of prison, just like she manipulated you and Sheena and the rest of them to do her dirty work and get content creators disliked. Who does that? Gypsy. Gypsy is behind it all. She's like a puppet pulling the fucking strings, and then as soon as you get caught, she just runs somewhere else. But like, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Who did that? I did that? I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. See what I'm saying? She's fooling you, Bree. I don't understand. Like, you sit here and you try to tell us that she's a human being. that she deserves sympathy. Well, Dee didn't get none. Nick didn't get none. And you're playing sympathetic to someone that murdered somebody? What if that was you? What if that was the person that you were about to run your mouth to? And the tables turned and Gypsy felt like she had the need to take out another person that was going to expose her. Then it wouldn't be so much sympathetic, would it? You're covering for somebody that does not need, and that's what her problem is. Everybody listens to this me shit, and nobody has held her accountable. Not one fucking person for what she's done. And that's why she continues to do it. She's like, well, the other one, fuck it, man. I'm just keep getting away with it. I'm going to keep doing it. Gypsy's never heard the word no, and the word no got somebody killed. When the truth has to come out, she goes after those people. I mean, like, religiously goes after them. And she does not care if she causes people to lose their job. How many people nowadays can afford to lose their job? Some people are day to day, week to week. One paycheck can fuck up an entire fucking 10 years worth of life. But Gypsy don't see it that way. Gypsy says, well, if I just shut him up, then the truth can't come out. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. People are not going to stop. She can knock one pin down, but there's going to be fucking 8 more behind her. She's going to do this repeatedly till the day she dies or gets locked back up. Because for every one person she shuts down, there's going to be 8 more behind her that's willing to keep on going. Gypsy don't have supporters. Gypsy has people that do not want to know the truth and that are refusing to read the documents and refuses to see the writing on the wall. They think it's easier if they turn their head and claim it to be a supporter. No, it's not. They're ignorant. They're ignorant and they don't want to know the truth. Her own boyfriend, Ryan as well, does not want to see the medical records, the book, that hideous book. I don't even know how you call it a book, but what the fuck ever. Yeah, what the fuck ever. I'm sorry. That book's something else. They don't even want to see the emails because they know what the fuck she wrote about people, how she manipulated people, how she done people wrong to get her own way. That's why, because they know that there is a lot of that information in there that she's done to them, but they're willing to turn their head. I didn't see it. As long as I don't see it, it don't exist. You don't see God, would that mean he don't exist? The shit's there. But they think just because they claim they don't want to read it, they can keep calling her a victim. But Bree, I'm telling you right now, I don't care if your clouts, your clicks, your follows are worth more than your dignity and your pride. Because that's exactly what she's destroying every day you believe her. She does not care about you. She's done threw you under the bus twice. And if that little shit show yesterday does not show you how much Gypsy does not mean, how much you don't mean to Gypsy, should tell you a lot. She was willing to let you sit up there and go through all that just to support her, and she couldn't even come in for the rescue. They're like, no, man, this is my battle. I'm going to fight it. Bree, you're good. Thank you, baby. Thank you for having my back. Nah. She just left you there. Not giving a fuck about you. And then you help manipulate everything that people were trying to talk about to make it fit your narrative. Just like Gypsy. Just like fucking Gypsy. That's just, wow, that was weird. Like, I didn't know there was 2 of them son of a bitches out there. Now we really got to be on the lookout. She's evil, fucking evil. You are going to be, look, you can keep on doing what you're doing, but in the long run, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get your feelings hurt. And your little backup or your little replacement is Heather. So whenever she's done with you, she's already got her backup. It will be not long from now before you will be irrelevant, and she just disregard you. And then everything that you've said and everything like that, it'll be a lie. And then she's going to turn her back on you and make you look fucking stupid, just like she does to everyone else. So you're just another, I don't know how to say that, a chess in the pawn or some stupid shit. Another pawn in the chess game. Whatever. Y'all know what I mean. You're replaceable. And your replacement just lined up. Think about that. Because every person that she's threw under the bus, she has done the exact same thing. The exact same thing. She had to literally wait on those conversations for them to give her the okay before she just started her bullshit narrative. As soon as Christy says, okay, darling, that poured it on thick. She can say what she wants. I guarantee you, that baby voice, that fucking manipulating bullshit, it got her ass whooped. That's why Gypsy had to claim rape on somebody to get the person away from him, because Gypsy just walks around thinking the whole world's stupid and just manipulates everybody. That's probably why. She is pathetic. A coward. She's going to teach her daughter to do the exact same stupid shit right now. And yeah, I ain't even going to get into that. The only difference between Gypsy and her mom is her mom didn't abuse Gypsy. But I could see Gypsy doing the opposite to her youngin'. I could literally see her doing something to make her narrative fit of an abuse claim. I seen her daughter lay on the bed and or the fucking thingy and literally army crawl and act like her feet did not exist. She did not use her feet at all. At 9 months old? Come on now. She was not even using her toes to try to push her legs up to reach her chest so she could, rock back and forth. Nope. She army crawled like her legs didn't exist. Why is that? For her not being held accountable, she is setting that baby up for a world of hurt. And I hope that's just literally and not physically talking. I honestly do. And to even think about a second one being brought in this world right now, it's just uncanny. It is just repulsive. But if somebody don't finally hold her accountable, her kid, not two yet, her kid is going to be the one to pay. I promise you. If somebody does not take this shit seriously and hold that bitch accountable, there's going to be bad shit that fucking happens. Because she thought she got away with it, and she's able to continue this shit show for damn near 10 years because nobody has put their fucking foot down. And if somebody don't, something bad is going to happen. And I think that time that you and Gypsy went to that content creator by her work, I'm pretty sure that if you wasn't with her, I'm pretty sure she would have done something evil. Evil. Gypsy has that evil. That's what we're trying to get at. No matter how you erase or flip that narrative, it's there. It's there and it's in Gypsy. It's not going nowhere. And anybody that's ever committed murder, they have a taste for it. And they try it again and again and again, especially if they don't get caught. So take it from me. Get you and your little shit show together and hold this bitch accountable for what the fuck she's done. Because you know, if you truly read in them documents, you know the truth. But I'm out, guys. But I hope you see this, Bree. Till the next one, guys.